Hello, hello. Welcome to Friday Night Live, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hope you have nice snacks and beverages. We're in the fish room. Hopefully you can hear me. I'll just wait a little second to see whether or not I get some green lights, but so far so good. Looks like we're cooking with gas. Right, back in the fish room, as you can see. Let me just get the chat set up, because that's something I always forget to do, and why would I remember? I've only done 90 odd of these things. Pardon me. Click that button. Before we get to 100, I will do one of these properly, where I remember everything and do everything at the right time. What do I have to do? I have to go in here. They keep updating OBS and I never know what I'm meant to be doing. Put that in there. Click that button. Click that button. Click that button. Click that button. Hi from Sweden! Yay, it worked. Right, we're good, we're good. If you could just let me know whether or not you can hear and see me. Otherwise, I will just assume you can. And blather on relentlessly. So, Hans is in. Nice to see you, Hans. David Pinner from a freezing Merseyside. It's not the warmest, he says, sitting in a t-shirt. It's not the warmest here in Sheffield either, but it's lovely and toasty in here. I mean, this is the best thing I've ever done, is moving down here to do my normal day job. It's great. I will say all this again repeatedly all night, because it's like my favourite subject to talk about at the moment. Lee's in. Mark Arrowsmith, good evening. Silver Surfer, nice to see you. Freshwater Ichthyology, hello, hello. Martin, the Fish Vet. Dean, Welsh Weeks, sitting on a cold M4 supervising some maintenance work. It's a tad cold. Supervising some maintenance work on a motorway. I don't believe you. I thought you just put up roadworks and no one ever actually did any roadworks. That's what it seems to be like for me anyway. Dan the Fish Nerd's in. As is Zen Ginger. Audio video good. Phil's in. I can thank you in person. If you weren't here last week, you might not have got to see this, but this was the lovely gift I got from Phil. I'm assuming it's a gift, unless you want me to pay for it. I'd be happy to. It's excellent. It's like my favourite thing. I can hear and see you, but your lip sync is out slightly. This happened last week, didn't it? And we fixed it. Now, can I remember how to fix it? I mean, we can give it a go. Try that. Now, is that any better or is that any worse? Oh, that looks like it's gone the other way, hasn't it? Don't know what I've pressed now. Okay, that's minus 100. Is that any better? Who knows? We'll see. Paul Burke, nice to see you, Paul. Evening and congrats you as your guru. Yes, I'm celebrating tonight, so Weird Beer Night has had an upgrade. I wanted to get something that popped. So we'll be starting off with Celebration Ale, which is going to be a mistake because look at that, 7.9% volume. I didn't want to start the night that way. But it's got a cork, so I thought, I'm celebrating. We'll get one with a cork. So I might not last the whole 2 hours tonight because I might fall down in a heap, but we'll see how we get on. I'm celebrating because I had to take an exam this morning. I've not had an exam in anything since I left school 400 million years ago. Is this going to go everywhere? It probably is. Way! And I caught it! Look at that! So I had a Microsoft Azure exam, and I did the training. Well, there's a whole story for this. I had it set as an objective because when I moved roles, or I moved teams, I was doing the same job, but I moved teams. I got a boss who was much better than all my previous bosses in that he wanted to have one-to-ones and he wanted to do like progression plans and objectives and set all these kind of things. But he made me set some objectives, and one of them was to set a solutions architect exam for Azure. So I got booked onto some training about 2 years ago. Sat through the training like this. What? Eh? And then just basically put off taking the exam because I thought that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. But finally, I got called on it and was, your objectives for this year, you need to get this exam. And I very carefully read the wording that I had to sit the exam. I didn't have to pass the exam, I just had to sit it. So that's fine, I'll take the exam. I did that. Did a load of cramming this week. YouTube, what a wonderful resource YouTube is. I know it's not all nonsense like this spouting crap at you. Watched like a 4 or 5 hour study cram session. Did a load of exam dumps, sat a load of mock exams. I kind of got the exam dumps helped a little bit, as me being continually wrong managed to train myself into what the right answers were actually going to be. But everyone kept saying, oh, well, Microsoft exams, they're always the same. They just reuse all the questions over and over again. So I had something like 68 questions. One I recognised. Not one iota of help to me. The case study I recognised. So you get questions and you get a case study. A case study's like, here's a couple of pages worth of information, and then we'll ask you a bunch of questions about it. And the case study was one that I actually recognised, but it was one that had no Scooby what the hell they were going on about. Because it was one of those ones where it has like 90% of the information is there to fool you or send you off on the wrong path, and then each option that they give you as an answer has a dozen sub-options, and they all rely on you knowing something you would normally Google. So when I do this as a day-to-day job, I don't know the SKU of every server that you could possibly build in Azure. I go to Google and say, yeah, that one, I'll pick that. But the test relies on you knowing it. So, but I passed. So congratulations, yay me. That's a long way of me saying that. I can't believe I passed. I didn't think I was going to pass, but I'm extremely pleased. But I didn't think I would care, to be honest. But I was well chuffed today. So I'll have some delicious beer after I finish this muck. No, it's fine. It's very... nothing on the nose. It's got a bit of a bite. What's it meant to have in it? Celebration Ale is perfect to be enjoyed at any occasion. This is an occasion. Its delicious combination of two beautifully aromatic hops, Chinook and Elixir, which has resulted in a balanced bouquet of tropical fruits. Pomelos, and subtle floral notes. Not really getting any smell whatsoever, but it's fine. Yay! So that's my boring news. So anybody that works in IT, not that you'll be impressed by that, but anyone that works in IT might know what the hell that is. So, jumping all over the place. So, thank you, Paul. Paul is one of my colleagues that I work with. Your mouth is a bit off from the audio. Oh, so I'll catch up and then we can discuss that. Scott, thought you were on holiday. Just wanted to pop in, leave my like and say hey and bugger off again. Currently on the train back home. See you all next week. Well, hello and goodbye. I was reading on Reddit, Aquarium Co-op uses Chinese sweatshops to make their sponge filters and air tubing. Is that ethical, or should they... follow-up question. Be sourcing American or Western countries to make their products ethically? Change my opinion on Corey completely. more graham in the hobby, less Corey. So, I agree with the last point. Definitely more graham in the hobby. Um, is it unethical to use Chinese factories? So rather than sweatshops, let's just say they're factories. We'll assume the best over Western factories. I don't believe it is. The power of your pound or the power of your dollar, if you're American, is your power to spend as you freely wish. If you believe strongly that workers' rights have value, if you believe strongly that you want to invest in an area, whether that's your local area, whether that's your geographical region in general, that's your choice. There's no getting away from it that Chinese made products are cheaper. There's also no getting away from the fact that a lot of the Chinese working practices are not as well, good, I suppose is the word that I'm looking for. They're not as good as some of the Western working practices, but that doesn't mean all Chinese companies are sweatshops. And I don't think it means you shouldn't source your materials from China unless you personally have a problem with that and want to invest in American products or British products if you're from Britain. If it was me, the times I've tried to source things, so I've had a go, I've dabbled in like trying to bulk buy. Sponge filters was one. I thought I was big on sponge filters, I still am. Really like sponge filters and thought I really like these ones, and it's the same Chinese brands you see all over the place. In fact, let me go grab one. Covered in spiders. This kind of thing. So you see versions of this all over the place. You get the tiny size, the medium size, the bigger size, and the stumpy size. They're all very much of a muchness. But I found some that were, see, like this one for instance. I don't know how well this is going to come across in the camera. The porosity of the sponge, slightly too dense for my liking. Works perfectly fine, just needs more maintenance, or I feel it needs more maintenance. I've never actually got around to testing it. But I found some that I really liked, and I found a seller on Alibaba. Their minimum order was something like 5,000 units, so I wasn't quite prepared to commit to that. Oh no, that was something like 1,000. But anyway, I wasn't quite prepared to commit to that, so I thought, I don't know if I'll be able to shift these. But they offered everything, and it could all be done online. If you wanted to modify the packaging, you could modify the packaging. You want to modify the product, they modify the product. If you wanted longer lift tubes, you could have longer lift tubes. And I sourced a very similar model, and I think it was either a German or an Austrian company that made them, and they were like 5 times the price, and it was exactly the same thing. Now, if let's say it was a UK company and a Chinese company, and I had the two products. If there was minimum difference in it, if the UK product was slightly more expensive, I'd probably grudgingly buy it just to say, oh, I'm investing in my nation, investing in our own economy. But when it's like 5 times the price, that's a very hard decision to make, and it's very, probably from a business point of view, a very bad decision to make. When it is unethical, so if it is, let's say that it was it's built in a factory and they're all treated like slaves, they have to work 23 hours a day and they get fed slop from a pig's trough or something like that, then yes, I would just choose not to spend my money there. But if it's a normal Chinese factory, I don't know. I must caveat all this and say I have no knowledge of any of this. I haven't seen any of the videos or Reddit streams or anything like that. So I don't know whether that's true or whether they are sweatshops or whether they're not sweatshops. But in general, if it's a business decision, it more than likely comes down to cost and service. If it's a personal decision, the personal decision often weighs up poorly against the business decisions. So you might want to do something in a certain way, you just can't afford to because it doesn't make sense at that point. And your choices often at that point are, well, we don't do it at all, or we do it a different way and completely change our pricing model, which might be fine and it might not. So I don't know, maybe I'll have a wee look into that. Thank you, Joey, for your comments. The M4's always been maintained. It was like 50 mile an hour for 20 miles. Worst motorway. I don't know about that. Sections of the M62. Lanx Fishkeeper, I missed the second half of last week's stream but caught the calendar picks on catch up, some good picks and looking forward to the end product. Yes, so if you did see that, I will update this on Discord. I need you to send me the raw files, your original files, because Discord has smushed everything and compressed it. So I want to get the best quality you've got, even if they were just phone pictures or whatever, that's fine. I want the highest quality, so if you can email me the pictures, I'll make a post on Discord in the calendar pics chat. What are they called? Chat? Teams? Whatever. I'll stick in my email address. You can send me the emails, and that'll be perfect, and then we can get that sorted out, hopefully. I heard the king of DIY uses Canadian labour to make all his aquariums. So irresponsible. What, the ones that he claims to build himself? Everything's sinking fine. Good. Steiner! Hi, discus lovers. Celebration ale has to be for Aldi's or Lidl's with a name like that. You see that? Taste the difference, no less. Not only Sainsbury's fancy stuff. It's a celebration night. Lidl's for the normal nights. Celebration nights off the Sainsbury's. If I win the lottery, I might go to Waitrose or something. The sound is in front of the video. Oh, bloody hell. I'm hoping it's sorted out now. Did my Salesforce courses 4 years ago and now been told you've passed the exams, then right. Busy Christmas revising. Yes, I've never been particularly academic. I mean, I did alright in my exams and stuff when I was at school, but I pretty much did all my revision the night before the exam. So I did a week's worth of revision this one. But my God, so technical, or so, not even technical, just so, it was hard. I can't put it any other way than that. But this was to really bore anyone that cares, this was the AZ305, which is the course to get the certification for Azure Solutions Architect Expert. I didn't know this at the time, but that's the last exam you have to take, so that's like the expert exam. You're meant to take a prerequisite before that, so you get the certification. So I've still got one more exam to sit, but that's meant to be the easy one, so I'll do that after Christmas, and then hopefully I'll get my little badge. Exams are hell. When you think you'll never have any more, one appears. Well, if you're a perpetual student, or going into further education and further education, I guess it comes with the territory, it's part of the course. But when I've not been in any academic situation for 20 odd years. It's probably more than that, isn't it? How old am I again? It's nearer 30 years. But it was it was very weird. So there's a set of rules to take the exam. We will talk about fish, so if anyone has any fishy questions, by all means, stick them down below. But I was at home and it's what's called a proctored exam. So your webcam's on, and somebody's watching you to make sure you're not cheating. I totally could have cheated if I wanted to, but basically they make you take pictures of the environment. So you have to take from in front of the desk, from behind the desk, from one side of the desk, the other side of the desk, facing what the computer can see, what the computer can't see. Pictures of you from different angles, pictures of your driving license, all that kind of stuff. And then throughout the exam, your webcam's on and they're watching you. You're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to mumble. You know, like if you were reading the question out loud. And some of these questions are so long. You're not allowed to eat. You're not allowed to. If anyone else comes in the room, you fail. If anyone else's voice is heard, you fail. You're not allowed to have. You have to have your phone in the room, but it has to be more than arm's length away. You're not to sit next to a window. Yeah, there's lists and lists of things. It was the most stressful part of it was setting up for the exam. You have to get Alexa out of the room. Sorry. You have to make sure there's no other phones or devices or screens. And it's just one laptop, and you, and an internet connection. And you have to go for it. But God, it was right faff. Right faff, as they say. Didn't say congrats on Well, thank you very much, Aaron and Martin. To be honest, many of the origins of aquarium items might be a bit dodgy. I found something on Mopani, but I think sand, rocks and woods also have an environmental impact. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Does anyone have a preferred sponge filter make for the UK? Well, I almost had 1,000 of them. Annoyingly, I lost the packaging for the one that I did. Like, oh, is this it? Have I just found it? Hang on a second. I found some sponge filters the other day in a cupboard and thought, oh, maybe these are the ones. I can't remember if these were the ones or not. Not quite. So this is kind of your bog standard one. I can't remember where I bought it, but you see versions of this all over eBay, all over whatever. It's quite a good price, I think. I got that one for. So this is normally the biggest one, but again, you can see the porosity, which I think the Aquarium Co-op one is a little bit less dense, or what? Why won't you focus? Damn you! This isn't bad, but these are good. These are fine. I've been working on like 3D printing the uplifts from this, because generally you get this thing here, and in general, the longer this is, the more water movement you get. So I've been working on some prototypes of 3D printing some of these that come up and then go out and make almost like a jet, because it gets the circulation going a little bit better than just the bubbles, which is fine on its own as it is. So we might do some videos on that. But yeah, I quite like these ones. They're all much of a muchness though. I wish I could find the ones that were really good. So there's probably the ones Aquarium Co-op are selling if they're getting them from China. I think if he or many people did that, the amount of people in the hobby would be drastically reduced, as the products would cost twice as much, if not more, from a marketing perspective. I mean, there is a huge thing about cost. It's at a certain point. So I buy my fish food from various companies, package it up myself and sell it on. If I was to have a falling out with the company, or to find out that something was being made unethically, or animals were being treated badly, or whatever was going on, I could say, right, fine, I'll just not sell that anymore. Would it have an impact on my business? Yes. Is my business that big a deal? No. when my business employs other people, that becomes a much harder decision to make. So if I was supporting, let's say there was me and I had a video editor and I had somebody helping me with packaging and shipping and somebody else helping me with, I don't know, marketing or whatever, and I was essentially supporting all those people, any decision I made if I threw a wobbly and decided to have a fight with the king of DIY again, and my channel tanked, and my sales tanked, that's 4 people's lives that I've affected. Similarly, if I then decided I don't like the way my filters that I'm selling are being made, I'm going to source them from the home region and increase the prices 400%. That would tank business and affect those 4 people. So if you're Corey and you're supporting multiple people, that's multiple people's lives that get negatively impacted because of your belief. Now, some people will say that's a decision that you can't be on the wrong of. If you make the right decision for the right reasons, it doesn't matter that it tanks the business. The right thing has been done. But it's very, very, very hard to do that, I would imagine. And again, I don't know anything about this. I don't know if it is a big bad thing or whatever. I don't think any are produced in the UK. I think Clearseal might be the only brand producing them in the UK from memory. Maybe one other. Yeah, the sponge filters. I've never seen one with UK packaging other than... what was it? I've seen a few that have obviously been... It's this in a new box with UK language and English writing. But I want to say there's some like corner ones that... Is it Barlow's Aquatic Trading or something like that? They developed like a system of tanks that had like a matin filter in the corner, and then they made up that was sold as like corner sponge filters that they made themselves with. I mean, they were very DIY-ish, but they fairly mass-produced them. I can't remember. I don't know, Zen, if people will pay £2,000 or $2,000 for a phone that costs $79 to make, they'll spend their money on anything. Yes. Yes, no, you're right. You're right and you're wrong. So I get where you're coming from with that, and yes, I think that's absolutely right. But there's also... You can make a phone for... You can make an almost equivalent phone that retails at £2,000 for £100 because someone's already done the R&D to make the £2,000 version. So you get to skip that and you don't have to pay those costs, and that's why they protect their IP so vigorously. So if that makes any sense to you. I'm now seeing the argument that phones are not necessary, or £2,000 phones aren't. Oh, have I had a super chat and I missed it? I have as well. Thank you very much, Dan the First Nerd, because I always answer every question I send. I'll let you into a little secret, Dan. Pardon me, there it is. I rely on you for my content. If you don't ask me questions, I have nothing to say. So, but thank you very much. Thank you. Sorry, where did I get up to, John? Rob Barry, nice to see you again. Available in the UK. What, the sponge filters available? Yeah, they're all the same. As far as I can tell, they're all the same. I've been looking for the one that I liked for months, if not, probably over a year, and I can't find it anywhere. I was going to say I scour eBay all the time. I have a quick look every now and again to see if I can see it, but it never turns up. It's always one of these versions. They have different packaging, they're the same thing. Just thinking the more tanks you get, the more sense it makes to use them. They're great, they are great filters. Let's see if I can get down a bit. I seem to be quite far behind. Am I still miles out on sync? Should I try and break out the headphones to see if it's... Amazon, and to a very similar degree eBay, have certainly removed any moral ambiguity when it comes to buying cheap products from Asia. You're right. I mean, I think Amazon does at least pretend, whether they do or not, that they have a moral and ethical element to products they'll allow to list on their site, and then you see all the fulfilled by Amazon stuff where people are clearly just getting them straight from China and listing them on Amazon. But it's a zero-sum game. It's very hard to stop any of this when the key driver for anything, if you're purchasing anything, the key driver in any purchase being the clue, is the price. Price is king, and then everything else on top. If you can afford to not make price king, that's when you can make a difference. But with the prices of everything rising so much, that gets harder and harder and harder to be an ethical position to maintain. Um, 7.9%, not bad. Oh yes. And just for those of you who are late to the party, ta-da! Look at that for a mug. Okay, I now know where I'm up to in my Waitrose comments. Waitrose stocks Einstock Icelandic beer. It's amazing. Oh, maybe I'll have to go and check that out. I'm not academic with exams. I think my average exam grade's like 50-60%. I got 1% above the fail in organic chemistry. Hey, still a pass. Still a pass. Yeah, the passing score for this one was 700 points out of 1,000, so 70%, I guess. And every mock test that I sat, I think the closest I got was something like 680, where I was kicking myself because there was a couple that I knew I'd got wrong as soon as I did them. But I passed on like 890 or something like that. I was like, what? Why did that happen? Exams are a test of temporary memory skills. That's what I was banking on. That was my big thing, was I'll just memorise all the exam dumps. That's the only way I'm going to pass this, because none of it makes any sense whatsoever. But I guess some of it's snuck in there. I'm looking for some red devil angelfish. Has anyone seen any in the Yorkshire area? I've never even heard of red devil angelfish. So no, sorry Dean, I haven't. Cheshire Pratfish, I have a question. Please can you prove that Megatank isn't leaking? Megatank is full of water. I have turned it off because it was a bit noisy. But how can I prove it? I've not got my GoPro. I forgot to bring the GoPro down. So I can turn this around. Hang on. This might go horribly wrong. I might lose power to the camera. Uh-oh. So there you go, Megatank is full. Oh no, it's dying on me. Don't worry, people, I will come back. And then if you have a look down there, it's leak free. Can you see that? It's hard to. Very dry, all dry. I've started painting the outside as well, just to protect it from drips and the like. Ooh. I'm using the shittiest, pardon my friends, I'm using the worst USB the worst USB cable in the world to connect to my camera. It's literally falling to pieces. I only realised it was a crappy one 30 seconds before it was meant to start, so we will struggle on. But yes, Mega Tank has now been... I mean, I emptied it last weekend, or last Friday, because I wanted to aquascape it, and then I changed my mind because I couldn't decide what to aquascape it with, and I wanted to just carry on with the leak test. So it's been full a week now, continuously. Touch wood and everything. So far so good. I think we might be over the hump. My next plans are finish painting everything. I'm going to get some plywood to face it. I'm going to build an integrated desk into this section. I'm going to frame out the window as well with some nice, like, nicer wood, because it's a bit rough and ready. I think that'll look quite swish, quite smart. Got to maximise my content in December. December's the biggest ad revenue month of the year, so I need to get as many videos out as I can. But I want to get good videos, so I still have this little nagging desire to get to 15,000 subscribers before the end of the year. 6 months ago I'd have said no problem, I'm 300 away, I get 300-400 subscribers a month, but the last few months it's dipped way down to like 100 subscribers a month. So I think I might have reached my limit of people who will tolerate this nonsense. But yes, Megatank is doing pretty well. Let's talk Megatank. Doing pretty well. I have had several offers of things to put in Megatank. At least half of them are from people who are clearly just struggling. I've got this and it's too big for my tank, do you want it? But nothing that's compatible with each other, so it's like, how do you make that decision? And then I'm ending up running a rescue rather than running the tank that I want to run, which might be the way forward, because I can't decide what I want to put in this bloody thing. I'm coming round more and more to the idea of koi and cold water fish, just because of the amount of money electricity's costing me. So I'm still thinking on that. I totally would have cheated. Yeah, I probably could have done. I could quite easily have had like a cheat sheet behind the laptop or something and just lifted it up and seen it, because I thought there was going to be like a live... Somebody was watching me do my test through the webcam, but I had read that there was an expectation that every now and again they'd ask you to get up and move around and show your surroundings and that kind of thing. That never happened. But it does tell you before you take the test that they track your eyes to see that you're always... So you can't stare up into space and think. You have to keep looking at the screen, because if you move your eyes away from the screen for too long, that's a potential fail. It's very strict. We all have Google, and yeah, I mean, I always say to everyone, that's my... What is your unique skill? I'm really good at Googling stuff. What do you do in your job every day, Dad? I Google things faster than anyone else. Or I filter Google better than anyone else. That is literally my job. What is the point in retaining everything in here if it's all out on the internet? We should do what lasts longer. A lettuce or Mega Tank seals. Oh no, I think that would be funny. You could do that as a live stream, couldn't I? Like a 24-hour a day live stream. Am I still out of sync? See, I've got two different sources here and I can't tell which one's which. Did anyone get any Black Friday fish deals? I avoid... Shush, phone. I avoid all emails because I really didn't want to be tempted. I bought a load of these. This was my Black Friday deal. The Huyger Aquarium extendable LED light. So I'm glad I didn't get all righteous, given that I've just spent a load of money on Chinese crap. I'm actually quite pleased with them. I don't know if you can see those lights. They're adjustable, so you can set the colour temperature. There's quite a range that you can set. You can set the brightness and the intensity. So I bought 6 of these because they were... I mean, they weren't cheap, but they were significantly cheaper than comparable items. And I have had lots of lights fail on me recently, so I thought, oh, I'll just buy a bunch of them. But I couldn't really see anything else that was a really decent deal. Everything else was just a bit like, meh, oh, there's £2 off that thing, wow. Graham, have you ever bred betters? I found an amazing purple Dumbo male this week at Pets at Home and I couldn't resist buying it. I'm now tempted to breed with the female I have. I haven't, no. I have been tempted to try every now and again. Pardon me. Oh, my balls. What's happened? Little Sandwich with a £5 super chat. Thank you very much. No, I haven't bred betters. I might. That is a project I might be interested in. I do have a rack of smaller tanks that I could make use of. Might be something to try. That is a much smaller pore than the co-op sponges, from what I can see. Yes, it is, and that's what... Not that I dislike them, but I would prefer to have a much more coarse pore. I worked for a gold partner years ago. In order to claim gold partner, they had to train and pass a certain number of people each year as qualified to sell and support MS products. Surprise, surprise, they all cheat. Well, at the end of the day, Microsoft want you to pass that exam. The more people they've got out there that hold certifications, the better. Which, doing like fundamentals and all the easy ones makes sense, because it's Azure is a cloud computing solution where you can host A, virtual machines, B, bananas, C, cats, D, dinner parties. You're like, I wonder. But the expert ones blew my mind. Sorry I'm late, says Novo Perkele. What's up with Megatank? Nothing's up. It's working fantastically. Realistically, any sponge filter does the same job. Regarding bacterial numbers anyway, the longer tube though would be useful. Yeah, well that's the only way I could think to pimp it, or the only thing that I was missing with that was getting some proper flow. I mean, you do get flow with a sponge filter. But I've noticed, you know, the ones that stick on, have I got any of them? I do, but they're miles away. These ones. So you have these sponge filters. A sponge sits on there. Ideally, you don't pick up a broken one, so there's another bit there. The sponge sits there. I can't remember if I ever videoed this or not, but I did test this quite extensively. That if you push this right down to the bottom, the flow out of here is much more reduced than it is if you do this. So there's got to be something going on with the action of the bubbles rising for a greater length in a controlled space. Increases the flow that it draws in through these bits. So that was great. And then these ones I noticed, because they point out that way, rather than just going straight up, they go up and out. I could put these at the back of my smaller tanks and it would push the water. You could visibly see it getting pushed across, whereas if I just had them going straight up, it would still bubble and stuff, but you wouldn't see the ripples and the waves going all the way to the front. So I want that. I want more circulation. Circulation is one of the most important things, I think, in your aquarium. So that's why I've been working with these smaller ones to see if I can 3D print some airlift tubes and get some better results. I will, of course, publish all my files and stuff like that, so you can get to download them for free and blah 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 blah. But that's where I was going with that. That's Dan's super chat. Thank you very much, Dan. My bet's on the Mega Tank Plecos eating the lettuce first. If only, if only. Noodles super chat. Thank you very much. Oh God, what is going on? It's everywhere. The audio's going out again. Sorry. I might move once I get the proper desk set up down here. I might move my whole streaming setup down here. I'm about half a second out of sync. That's close, just noticeable. Yeah. The problem is, what way am I out of sync? What way am? So the sounds first. Is that any better? Or is it worse? Let me know down below. NGW from Doncaster, what's happened to you? You're late. Thank you very much. House of Sass says hello. My neighbour is fulfilled by... Oh, another balls. What's going on? My neighbours are fulfilled by Amazon seller, and yes, it's all crap. Dad! Hello! Thank you very much for popping in. So we'll need to have a poll. Do you want to see my dad on the podcast? Because they're... Podcast, it's not a podcast, Graham. Stop calling it that. They're coming down for Christmas, so the Friday before Christmas they'll be here. Should we get my dad in and ask him some questions? I'm sure he'll love that. Aquarium Daily, hello. Envo shrimp make fairly nice HMF block filters. Did the new display tank arrive? The new display tank did arrive. Let me see if I can show you. There is the new display tank. It looks quite small there because my dog's next to it for some reason, but I assure you it's the same size as the old one. I feel like a broken man. So this arrived just after my exam finished, so I'm glad that happened, because that arriving and making me fail my exam because the delivery man turned up would have been too much to take. So it's still there because it weighs a bloody ton. So me and the guy that delivered it, one man in a van who recognised me, which I thought, hey, that's cool. Apparently listens to this driving around. Humped it up. He did it with no problem. I felt like I pulled every muscle in my body. So it's 5 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot. It weighs a bloody ton. Glass sliding lids is the only real upgrade I've had over the previous one. But I can't wait to get started on it. So we've got videos on that coming soon too. Can I just say that Humphrey is looking a beast? What's he up to? Alright, buddy. Trying to kill me. Amazon do cheap USB cables. I've got loads of USB cables. I have literally drawers full of USB cables. I just didn't have one to hand. That's the problem. It's because the camera connection uses old USB cables, so it's the USB, the mini ones, rather than USB-C. And all the good ones are upstairs because I was streaming from upstairs last week and I forgot to bring some down. The aquarium hobby seems on a low, so not surprised if views are dropping for anyone. This is what's weird. Views are not dropping. Views are fine. Stable, even rising. Subscriptions are dropping. And everyone keeps saying, well, subscriptions don't matter, it's views that matter. So, not all bad. Not koi, boring. Oh dear. 50,000 chili raspora. I really would like to do that. I mean, if you're a fish importer and can get your hands on a massive quantity of small fish, go for it. But 50,000 chili raspora or any other small fish, even at £1 a fish, that's too much money. If the room stays at a temperature, so the room consistently stays at 25 degrees, much to my wife's chagrin, because I have a radiator over here that keeps it nice and warm. I heat a couple of the tanks, so I heat the discus tank a little bit more than that because they prefer it a bit warmer, but everything else is kind of happy with that range. So that tank should set at 25 degrees as well. Decent sized koi for mega tank will not be cheap. Very true, very true. Hans, thinking like me. Do koi and goldfish this winter, build the pond in the spring and stock them with something else? That's what I was thinking. Only because somebody did offer me some koi. No idea of quality, I assume very low quality, but somebody that was shutting down a pond. I think they said they had 3 or 4 koi in there, and no idea how old they were, but had been there ever since they'd moved in, something along those lines. So they sounded like they were quite big. They sent me a picture which was basically a grey pond. I was like, oh thanks, there's no fish in there. But if that's you, I don't mean to mock. But we had a bit of a laugh about that. But then I thought, oh, if I get 3 or 4 that are decent size, if they've been there for a few years, they're going to be a decent size, then I could maybe splurge on a couple more, keep them in here for the winter, project pond, move them out there, put something else in there. It's a possibility. I'm not knocking that idea. Einstein was the same way. If the information is readily available, he didn't waste his time with memorising it. Things like his address and phone number. Yes. I drink and Google things. Tyrion Lannister and Aquarium Adventures. It's not wrong. I mean, it is a skill. Googling stuff quickly and accurately and knowing how to Google the right things to get you the answer you want is a skill. Whenever I've had to interview someone, I've always asked them about Googling, and everyone kind of looks at me like, what? Why are you saying that? Because if you can't Google things well, no one knows everything. So I don't see it as a bad trait or a fault that you have to look things up every now and again. But if you can look things up better than anyone else, that's a massive skill, a massive gap in productivity in all areas. I've never been out Googled yet. Pardon me. Glad to hear Oma Balls is still going. Yes, it definitely is. I've definitely been thinking about this one. Put a single betta in the mega tank for clickbait viral video. I was thinking that you kind of spoiled the surprise now, but I was thinking I was definitely going to do that. I thought, I'd like to get a couple of nice bettas for some of my smaller tanks. Because they're cool fish as well, cool personalities usually. But I might put it in mega tank to say, is this cruelty? Is it too small for a betta? Togaff, oh yes, that's the one I keep saying that. Oh yeah, I do Togaff. I went on a 5-day Togaff course 15 years ago? No, it can't be that long. A long time ago anyway, and ever since I've been claiming to be Togaff qualified because I went on the 5-day course and I did 3 days and came home. So it was rubbish. So I might try TOGAF again because it's the whole solutions architecty thing. Graham, do you put warm water through your HMA filter? What? Graham, do you put warm water through your HMA filter, and do you filter cold water then mix it with hot to get the right temperature in your tanks? No, I put the water through the HMA at the temperature I want it to go in the tank. So I have a shower valve connected out there. I'm sure I've got a video on this somewhere, but I shall point to you later. Basically a shower valve that goes, set the temperature on there, that goes through the system, comes to the HMA here, and then comes out at the end at whatever temperature I want it to come out at. I've run a line up into the house, so crawled into the crawl space under the garage and run a line so as I can put another second HMA filter in a cupboard next to my display tank, so as I've got access to water that way, and it should come out at the right temperature. Your HMA filter in the background is looking rather black in the clear section. Well, it is a smoky plastic, but yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, I've seen it worse. It probably does need changing at some point. If it helps, my HMA cartridge state not to use water over 38 degrees C. I don't know if mine say that or not, I must admit, but I don't go that hot. Dan the Fish Nerd's clearly drunk because Graham rules. Thank you very much for the super chat. Michael JDT, hi from London. Hello, Michael. Hope you're doing well. It was totally fine before. I'm used to seeing things pixelated and lagging behind, so this was nothing compared to what I'm used to seeing. The voice sync is better. Good. Just checked on my Discord sex. They've survived 4 hours, so if you're in the Discord server, I suppose I should do my regular shilling. And the link to the video below, there'll be a link to a Discord server if you want to join a group of like-minded aquarist friends. Share your pictures, stories, questions, whatever you want on there. Let us know what you're getting up to. So Rebecca here had mentioned that our discus had laid eggs. They've survived 4 hours. Let's see if they survive Sunday's water changes. Well, if they are starting to lay, that means they're getting comfortable enough again. Maybe you could take them out and give them a couple of goes in a breeding tank. I'm looking at a 3D printed basket that's the width of the baffle in my sump that would hold carbon to remove tannins. Oh, I don't want to remove tannins. Tannins are great. I love a good tannin. I mean, it'd probably do the job. I found, what's the other thing? It's the C-Chem stuff, not the C-Chem stuff. It's the stuff you recharge with bleach, whose name has escaped me. That was really good for getting rid of tannins. Looks like a nice quality. Yes, I'm very pleased with the quality of the aquarium. The dog does look proud, doesn't it? I'm sure a pair of guppies will soon... Oh, well, that's the other option, yeah. Just start with something and let them fill it out. Done. Celebration ale celebrated. I think the changes in the algorithms and codes trying to keep up with other platforms like Twitch and TikTok have screwed with YouTube's sub counts. But like most of the changes, it usually evens out. I personally have noticed that it goes in waves. So even before I got to 10,000 subscribers, I was regularly getting 300-400 extra subscribers a month, and then it would drop back down. Sometimes it was because I did something stupid. I made a video that people didn't like, or I What was the last one I did? That was the noodle sandwich. It was his fault. He says with his $5 super chat still there. I made a video about eating a pot noodle sandwich, and it just that completely tanked. I never thought it would happen. It completely tanked my channel, views, subs, even impressions, everything, every metric that was possibly measurable tanked after I made that video because like 100 people watched it. Beer number 2. We're going to go with Tiny Rebel 505. Niipa, New England IPA, I believe that is. Oh god, this is another strong one. 6.2. Jesus. So it does go in waves, and like the first ever shorts video I made, that did really well, and then the second one, it was like, well, why have you done this, Graham? What's the point? Same with TikTok. I've tried to go onto TikTok, and the first few videos you upload on TikTok, they get pushed by TikTok, I guess. And I quite enjoy TikTok. I've learned how to make loads of different types of food on TikTok. Oh no. Very hoppy. Very cloudy as well. Look at that. Cloudy. So there is like a cyclical nature that at least I have noticed on YouTube. I'm sure it will come. And these are all arbitrary numbers. Who gives a poop whether or not I get to 15,000 subscribers? It's not going to make a blind bit of difference to me. It's just like you have to set yourself these little goals. So why wouldn't you? TikTok, I think, doesn't give the time to give information. Yeah, I mean, TikTok's not for that. I mean, it's for snappy videos. YouTube is... I love YouTube. I mean, I made the joke that, oh, my job is just really good at Googling things. If you want to learn anything, YouTube's brilliant. There'll be somebody out there that'll have done some kind of video or pardon me, some kind of video or playlist that'll cover your needs. So literally the exam that I was sitting, I googled and went onto YouTube and did exam course title, study cram, and got presented with a list of hundreds of, it wasn't hundreds, maybe a dozen in-depth videos covering exactly what I wanted to, and I know I could do that for anything that I wanted to do. So I don't think YouTube is in danger of being replaced or superseded by any of these new ones. I think it's always going to have its place. YouTube Shorts is obviously an attempt to keep up with TikTok. But if YouTube can do it well, there's no reason why they shouldn't. Did you see the TikTok video I sent of the huge tank? See, this is where I'm terrible. I keep calling myself some kind of technological genius. I found a message on Instagram that was like 2 years old that I hadn't seen. I found the Fish Vet's message on my own bleeding Discord server that I hadn't seen. I'm terrible at messages. I do apologise. So, no, I don't think I did. Miles behind. For what it's worth, I run both my tanks at 24.5 to 25, and they're very happy. I am, and I apologise for this, very curious what people's energy bills are, if only to feel better. 15 quid a day is a lot. It is, yes. There's a huge lungfish in my LFS that I thought would be cool in Mega Tank. I do like lungfish, but yeah, again. it needs to be... I don't want to get one fish that nothing else is compatible with, then I'm stuck with that one fish. I'd like it to be quite a busy tank. I'm also wary of subscriber suggestions after spending last weekend going to aqua inns all over the bleeding county looking for shell dwellers for this tank. Oh yeah, aqua inn, I've got shell dwellers. Oh, they bloody don't, and I haven't had them for ages. But hey, I got to visit some new LFSs. Pardon me. I'm sorry if you're that person that suggested them, but yeah, they didn't have any, and I went to both of them. I still have Google joins and queries when I do them every day. I can think them through, but Google is quicker, yes. Curious to what other pets everyone has. I have 8 cats. Are you a cat lady, Dan? 8 cats and the fish, and that's all. Oh, I don't know. What do you all have? It's a very disconcerting colour. Smells very hoppy. It doesn't have the aftertaste. More than tolerable. Cats and fish seem to be related. So what do we all have? I have... So I've got 2 dogs, a cat, which I'm allergic to, a few fish, some leopard geckos, a couple of hamsters. We used to have a snake, but that died. I think that's it. At one point, though, I was basically running a zoo. We had snakes, blue-tongued skinks, geckos, giant African land snails, guinea pigs, hamsters, fish, dogs, cats. I'm probably missing something out. Why did I have 3 terrariums? Skink, snake, geckos. Well, that makes sense. So yeah. 7 cats, 3 turtles and a dog with 15 tanks and a husband with 3 kids. Oh yeah, 3 kids. Got them as well. Free swimmer, how's the big plywood tank doing these days? Well, I'm set up facing it and it's full, and it has been for continuously for a week. Fingers crossed, touch wood, everything's going well. Purigen, that's the stuff, that's what I was thinking of. Purigen, 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 Purigen. A western hognose snake. We just had a plain old corn snake. And 6 guinea pigs. Guinea pigs are like my babies. Yeah, I quite like snakes. I had a housemate that had in my younger days, I had a reticulated python. No, what was it? A Burmese python. Which it had its own room. It just lived in a room, did its own thing. That thing was awesome. Paul's in. Evening, Paul. I got punished by YouTube for using but citing National Geographic's footage to explain convergent evolution. Couldn't find alternative fishes of that species. Took months to recover. I mean, normally when... Yeah, it's a pain. Normally when you get copyright strikes and things like that, they're quite happy for you to promote the video because the other person just gets the ad revenue usually. But yeah, I've heard this from a few people that what one person does that doesn't even get picked up or noticed, another person gets hammered for it. Like the week before last, I think I got something like 15 copyright strikes, and they were all bogus. It was all some nameless corporation has claimed that your footage, and it was for the music that I used to use in my outro. And yeah, I can dispute the claims. Pardon me, and I did dispute the claims, but it takes ages to go through the dispute process. Every single one of them, yeah, okay then, fine. We'll quash this one. If they just put 5 minutes of effort in it up front, I wouldn't have to spend 20 minutes rejecting the claim. Hello, fishy folks. Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm lurking. It says Aqua Zen Garden. That's not what it says. It says Aqua Garden Zen. I need to try and get into TikTok. Oh, it's a time vacuum, Paul. I mean, there's some funny stuff on there. There's some interesting stuff on there. There's some weird stuff on there. But yeah, you can be like, oh, I'll just have a quick look through this. 45 minutes later. It's dangerous. I'd like capybara and a larger guinea pig army personally. I was told it's not practical to do either. Capybara, yeah, they do look like big guinea pigs, I suppose, don't they? You could have a guinea pig farm. You just need people to start eating them, and then then they'd be profitable for you. It's confusing, that one. So this is the Tiny Rebel NEIPA 505. Smells horrific, tastes quite nice. That doesn't look like it'll score. Well, the spreadsheet is still going. I've started to not tailor it, but I've started to focus in and hone in on what I think I like now. So I'm fairly sure there's going to be some overlap in previously purchased beers. In fact, I think I might have one of them. This was going to be the next one, a fruit smoothie beer. This is a hazy IPA with peach and raspberry tastes. That scored well on the spreadsheet, so I got that one again. So, as we move through the weird beer franchise, we'll be getting fewer and fewer new beers and honing in on the ones that I actually quite like. Right, I'm miles behind. Sorry, I'm going to try and catch up a little bit. YouTube University is brilliant. I've learned so much and watched a load of crap as well. Yeah, electricity bills are not good. Seems like there's a story behind this one. Only Oscar says, I can legally have 5 cats. So I have 5 cats. It was me who suggested the shell dwellers. You have to order them in as the local guy gets them off. Did you go to the Barnsley Aqua? And I went to the Barnsley one and the Wombwell one. And neither of them had shell dwellers. But okay, if you have to order them in, that's my bad. Although I did go and say, do you have any shell dwellers? And they went, as if to say, what the hell's a shell dweller? Are you after a troll? Paul only has 4 cats. Are you feeling like you're lost out here? Big Shrimpin says something I can't get away with saying. What up, y'all? I feel... Ugh. If you order them, he will get you some. I don't like to bother people. I just want them to be there and go, I'll have them, please. I'm not really a personable person. I generally don't like people. Or interacting with people. I generally don't like people. That's not your fault as people. Anything that can be done by email rather than phone call, I'm all over it. Anything that can be done by text rather than phone call, I'm all over that. The human interaction part of life, I can do it, trying to think of a way to say this without getting into trouble. If I'm speaking to you, I'm generally really upset about something. I don't want to have to speak to anyone. Obviously, at work, you get forced to go to meetings and you get forced to say things. But anything that can be done over email, I don't want to have to speak to you about it. And I know I'm weird and that's wrong. And the idea of going into a fish shop and saying, "Oh, please can you order some of these for me?" Oh, I hate it. The idea of messaging someone who works in a fish shop and saying, "I'm after some of these, can you get some?" And them replying, "Yes, they'll be here on Thursday." And me going, "Brilliant, I'll come and get them then." So, I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's some kind of mental disease that I've got. It's I struggle with it. I'm very good communicator, I think. I do presentations all the time. I talk to people all the time. But generally, unless it's some kind of confrontation or argument, I just don't want to be doing it. Not that I want to be having confrontations and arguments. I don't know. It's one of my foibles, my weirddoms. Random, but not so random. But Hans Heller is great. What is Hans Heller? I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to look at it. Hans Heller is an actor. He was born on September 14th, 1957 in Soest, Germany. He's an actor and writer known for Powder Park, Greta and Medicopter. My different Hans Heller. No, you're going to have to explain that one. TikTok is brilliant for looking at cute animals. I find it great for reducing stress. Yeah, it's brilliant for just wormholes in general. That's a good observation there. So many people complain about the mindless interaction and entertainment, but that's kind of the point. Funny cat videos do make people feel better. They do. Craig Doneker, Craig's Catfish Cave, says hi. Hello, Craig. Hope you're doing well. Cheshire Pratfish says, "I swear if you ever make it here, I'll take you to the local Insanity beer place. I had a baklava white stout this evening." Those words don't seem like they go together. Baklava, stout and white. What's a white stout? And where is here? Cheshire, I guess. Cheshire's not that far away. I can make it there. I pulled it off. I don't think I did. Is it the what up or the y'all? I think it's the y'all. I think you have to have is that like a southern accent? A southern US accent? What up? That can be anywhere, can it? I've been watching... Oh, well, I'm going to get myself into trouble. Have you seen the series Power? I consume a lot of media. But I watched... What was it I got? I bought a TV and it came with, "Oh, you've got a 30-day free trial to the Stars network." I was like, okay, I don't know what this is. And there was a thing called Power Book 4 or 5 Force. And I thought, yeah, I'll watch this. And it was like kind of mindless stuff that you have on in the background while you're doing other things. And I was watching that and it was fine. It's like a gang, drug runners, violence, all this kind of stuff. Didn't think anything of it. And then I googled to see if there was a second series. I found out that was actually like the 12th series, that it started back in 2012 or something like that. It's all about these two gangsters, drug dealers. One of them wants to go straight, one of them doesn't want to go straight, and there's like 6 seasons of the original thing, and then there's all these spin-offs that each of the characters in the thing, they've got a whole universe. Why am I telling you this? I can't remember why I'm telling you this now. But anyway, they've got a whole universe. So like, the kid gets his own season. He's got 2 seasons on his. Someone else, one of the ones that dies, gets a prequel. He gets a couple of seasons. Someone else gets like the couple of seasons of the guy who ends up running away. But it's all these people, and it's all, whoa, what's up, and it's all the lingo. I find myself thinking in that voice now. What's up, my dog? I'm like, that's not me. I don't say these things. So what up? Hey y'all. I'm like, oh, they'd never say that. God, I'm embarrassing myself now. Right, let's see if we can get down a little bit. Hello. I find fish stores stressful just or interactions. I find it worse having worked in the industry. I know how they act. My perfect interaction in any situation is, hello, I've come to buy an X. Here is the X. It costs Y pounds. Here is Y pounds. Thank you very much. Straight out. This whole having a chat, I want to get to know you. That's my whole problem. You remember those of you who have been here a while will remember the easy pond, what are they called? Where instead of Mega Tank, I was just going to buy a pre-made fiberglass pond with an infinity window. And I had a simple question like, how much is it? Oh, we'd love to have a chat with you about your requirements. My requirements are to know how much it is. Yeah, but if we can find out how you want to use it, we can tailor our sales experience. How much is it? Well, we really just need to talk to you to understand what you really want to get out of this I want to know how much it is. I want to get out the price. Tell me how much it is. Infuriating. Oh, can we just have a quick call about it? We'll tell you then. No, just tell me how much it is. Oh God, I'm miles behind. Sorry everyone, sorry. I'm so bad at this. How's the human performing? Very slowly. I've got to visit a load of stores and ask if they would do a discount for bulk order for my PhD. I've asked wholesalers, not got the species I need. Been putting it off for ages. Yeah. I don't think we're alone here, Rebecca. I think there are lots of people like us. We need a service. If someone would write a service or start a service where I could say, I want this, and someone would go away and get it and arrange for it to be delivered at my convenience, I'd pay twice the price. And I'm sure other people would do that as well. I had a manager like that. Just pop it all in an email. I've not got time to speak. So yeah, I draw a distinction there because that's slightly different. That's, in my experience, generally a twat. The whole I've not got time to speak thing. If something needs to be talked about, then it needs to be talked about. If something doesn't need to be talked about, yeah, get it in the email all day long. So it's difficult. It's difficult because I know I'm the one that's weird. I'm the one that's wrong for not wanting that type of interaction. Generally, people want to have a chat and discuss options and do these things. I never want to do that. I want to say, I know this, or I don't know this. Therefore, I want this, or I don't want that. And I know I'm the one that's wrong about it. So I can't expect everyone else to bend to my will. It's very strange. They are a bit busy all the time, and you have to have the gift of the gab. Exactly. Yeah, I've got the gift of the gab. I could sell sand to the Sahara. but he can get you them off a local guy, and I'm the same. I struggle with that as well, but if it's a good cause, so you do it. Yeah, I mean, if that's the only way to get things done, then fine. But I'll give you an example. So there was an eBay listing. It was, I think it was 6, 5 or 6 shell dwellers, neo, whatever, multi-fasciatus, and it worked out at, it was like £8 a fish, but you had to buy 6 of them. Or a shop that was listing them at £3 a fish, and that's the whole same thing about business. But I will pay more to not have to do the whole thing of going into a shop. You that guy off YouTube? What's that? Oh, which has happened every now and again, but just what you buying? What you got? What kind of tank have you got? I don't want to see people. That's why I quite like the whole. If he's still here, the king of DIY, when he worked in a fish shop. Once I get over that, and you've established some kind of relationship, and you're friends almost. You can say, yes, I am weird, but I need to acquire a lot of fish, please. Could you help me out with that? If I'd gone into any other shop and said, I want to buy 25 Congo tetras, they'd have been a bit like, Whereas at Fishman Aquatics, I can go and say, look at all those Congo tetras you've got, and how many are there? There's 25 of them. I'll have them all, please. Makes sense. I can't explain it. It's just me being a weirdo. I'll put it in the beer recommend. That's the Hans Heller thing. So it's not an actor, it's a beer, right? Okay. Y'all can be said anywhere. That's not true. See, I've just murdered it. Sorry. I struggle with that as well, but you have a panache. Hey, there's a word I've not heard in a while. So get them ordered. Other than that, there's Kev's, Rifts, and Pontefract, which is only Rift Valley Lake cichlids. Now, you're going to make me drive to Pontefract and be disappointed now at this point, aren't you? Although, where is Pontefract? I'm meant to be going to see the seals this weekend at Donner Nook and get to see all the seal babies. You have to bring your own clubs though. Not all that far away. Harris Heller, the guy that did the music for your DMCA free outro. Yes. What did I say? Hans Heller. I'm confused now. So are we talking about beers or music? No. So Harris Heller is the guy who does a load of free music, which I use quite a lot of now. But previous to that, I used some other DMCA free stuff, which is now all starting to get copyright claimed, which is a big thing. Lots of the previously free stuff get bought up by other companies who buy up tons of them just so as they can make 10 cents off 1,000 creators just to make it worth their while. But the Harris Heller stuff will never do that, or at least that's what he claims. Oh, miles away again. Based on the selection of species, I'd have to order off multiple importers and the cost would get insane. Yeah, I guess that's the problem, is finding a specialist that can bring all that together. So, we tried somewhere like Wharf or Pier that does use multiple importers and might be able to bring that cost down a little bit. Maybe we should do like a GoFundMe of all of us. Any fish that we all want to get together, we'll all order at one time to reduce the shipping costs and things like that. I'll put them all in Mega Tank for quarantine, hundreds of fish, and then you can come and pick them at your leisure. Y'all. Y'all. Hey, y'all. You know it's a good night when you're seeing the comments in double. Well, hey y'all, it seems much nicer than hello you bloody wankers. That's quite, if someone said that to me, I'd punch them. Before any interaction with people, I have a ritual. Get as high as a kite, and then a wee bit more. That probably serves you quite well. What's that? I had to buy a license to have my cats. Wow. Phone calls are the worst. Yeah, phone calls be the worst. You're quite right. I can't be doing with them. I have two modes. One is I want to get off the phone as quickly as possible, and two is I'm going to make you pay for phoning me. And neither of those are good looks. I put the beer font label in the beer chat for the baklava beer. Imagine white chocolate with pastry and honey. Okay. I can get behind that, yeah. But it's a beer. In Finland, we have a shopping bag service. You click on internet, they collect everything in boxes, and you pick up, or they, well, I guess, is that like Deliveroo and all these kind of things? He was one of those managers, didn't last long. Right, let's see if I can catch up a little bit. Wharf are great, I always get discounted there. Love a discount at Wharf. Come to think of it, I don't pay less at Pier either. My God, how many fish do you buy? You must do well. Anyone else feel a bit awkward Joy commenting after all the anti-Joy posts? Has Joy been commenting? Have I missed him out? I don't think we've had any anti-Joy posts. Me and Joy are like that these days. Teams and Zoom calls are the worst. Nothing's worse than during a meeting or on a call having... Yeah, so I say all this with 90% of my day is Teams calls. Of that 90%, maybe 25% is, oh, should we all turn our videos on? No. And when I do turn my video on, it's generally this background. I was like, oh, where'd you get that background from? I thought, nope, this is the actual background. I'm fine with it. It's my job, it's what I'm paid to do, I'm fine with that. When I'm doing personal stuff, I don't want to speak to anyone. I speak to everyone on Teams calls constantly because I'm paid to. That's my job. I have to do it, I'll do it, fine. I'm not going to jump through hoops and start putting video on and things like that. But chatting for chatting's sake, I think it is. That's what thing that bugs me. Pepper says, is Mega Tank ready for fish? Lighting, filtration already. Lighting, yes, check. Filtration, sort of check. I do have a sump running. It's not going to be the eventual sump. I do plan to build a specific sump that will fit in the space, so it's just a big plastic box at the moment, but I will fit something in there. I do have loads of media to go in that's ready cycled. So yeah, we're kind of ready. My next big thing is to get my new display tank running. But yeah, Mega Tank should be ready for fish. It's pretty much up to temperature. You can think of a fish that's happy at 25 degrees. The discounts. It's all about my charming disposition. I'm fucking massive. I'm quite imposing myself. I don't get discounts anywhere though. Oh, this one's a funny colour. So, I don't know if you can see this. This is the Fruzy by Tiny Rebel. Oh, it's another 6.5. Jesus. I'm going to feel it tonight. I think people are missing the point about Joey. He knows he's an ass and he still loves himself. He also has a great sense of humour. Yeah, he's fine. Joey and I have made up. We're all good. And his book is helpful. I read it more than the Bible. Oh, sorry, choked a little bit there. So this is very cloudy as well, but in a different way. Smells fruity. So as it says here, I don't know if you can see that. Focus. You can do it. Okay, you can't do it. Eye hazy, nose tropical, taste mango / citrus. Eye hazy, check. Nose tropical, check. No idea if that's mango. Not unpleasant. So, Joey's book. I own Joey's book. I bought it. I was... Sorry, big noise over there. What that was. That was the first negative thing that negative thought that crossed my mind was Joey's book when... I'll be honest with you, I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was a couple of things that were verbatim things I had already read somewhere else. And I thought, oh, fair enough. It's just he's collating a bunch of ideas, but no, they were presented as his. I invented this. This is how to do this thing. I was going, no, I've seen that somewhere else. That was the first negative point that I've seen, but. Even if that was true, even if that was the case, if he had just said, "Oh yeah, I've been inspired by this," or I'm building upon that idea, rather than presenting it in his own word, that'd have been absolutely fine because the book itself is useful. There is good stuff in there. A lot of it isn't nonsense. There's very few bits in there that you're like, no, don't do that. That's a terrible idea. It's all good stuff, good ideas, good techniques, even. Whether or not you read it more than the Bible, I guess begs the question: how much do you read the Bible? I don't agree with his attitude towards his own knowledge, personality, and attitude towards other. When he has his own style, his own thing. I mean, I think I've shown it on the stream before, where our text message exchanges between Joey and I is like left hand side me saying answer and then 500 messages, and then me saying something else, 500 messages. He likes to commandeer a conversation, but he's not the devil. I know I've said bad things about him. He's not the devil. There are worse people in the world. It's a fairly common trait of people who are trying to make their own way in life, and if you don't say you're the best thing since sliced bread, who else is going to? I guess that's what it comes down to. But no, we don't hate Joey anymore. He invited me on his podcast once. I don't think I'm going to do it, but we can all exist in the same space. It's fine. I've never seen anything anti-Joey. My comments earlier were 100% for comedy value. Well, we've got at least 2 or 3 different Joeys that turn up some weeks and pitch in. So all Joeys are welcome. I've started taking a tea bag with me when I go to meet people after previous experiences. Well, you're welcome anytime. We're COVID free now. I don't get discounts. I have my student ID, museum ID, and other workplaces ID, which works in some places. I am an a-hole. Missy says so. Oh dear. I'm sorry, but you can't hate on Joey's pages. It's the best Aquarius doorstop ever. I'm with you, Graham. Teams sucks. Teams enables me to work from home, so I'll take it, whatever it comes with. I honestly don't get on board. Nothing on YouTube is truly original. It's purely about presentation, and he presents better than most. There is that. Ohio Fish Rescue do an amazing job, but the presentation isn't great. You're right. Not nothing, but very little on YouTube is original. And if you can present it in a way, I mean, this is very evident in things like TikTok. The same TikTok video that has almost zero content, but if someone can present it in an engaging way with a pretty young lady dancing about something and someone else just saying the same thing, which one's going to get the views? That one. So if you can be high energy and talking all the time and just oozing enthusiasm, you're going to do well, and that is something he does really well. It's something people like me would do well to remember, that you can't just sit here and go, oh, I'm going to have a beer and complain and moan that everything's terrible. Yeah, clearly I'm not going to get tons of subscribers from that. But I don't know. I think I've grown a little bit and realised how much he's having to put that on, and it really doesn't matter whether or not he's a dick. I'm not the police. I don't have to stop that. I used to think that I used to get quite upset when he would make a mistake or promote something that was bad in my eyes. No, you're harming our hobby. But I have to remember I'm not the police of the hobby. And most of it's for entertainment, so... Nah, I don't know. Meh. For those who don't know, the Joey we're talking about for some reason is the king of DIY. A big YouTuber. He's probably one of the bigger YouTubers on the platform in the aquarium niche. And we had a bit of a falling out. That's probably a while ago now, a couple of years ago. And some nasty things were said by both parties. I'm not an innocent victim here. I said some stuff about him as well, which, yeah, was unfair and uncalled for. But yeah, he was being a dick as well, and that's where we left it. So we've had a chat. We're all fine about it. End of story. Corey has plenty of people that say he's a great fish keeper and person. He doesn't need to act arrogant and pompous. True. So, Corey isn't using the same techniques as Joy did to get big in the space. And I've got to be honest, I really respect Corey and the way he has built his little empire. I think it's done really well, but that doesn't mean that he's beyond reproach. As if you watch the start of this, somebody mentioned, "Oh, have you seen the latest drama with Corey? He's buying filters from China and their sweatshops and that's that." And that. There's an element of popularity, and the higher up the totem pole that you get, the more people want to knock you off for the more reasons. So Joey gets that as much as Corey gets that. But you're right. Joey has taken one approach of high energy, high impact, high enthusiasm, go, 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 whereas Corey has gone for more fact-based, information-based, community-based, building a community rather than the sensational stuff. Both valid strategies. God, I'm still miles away. I keep saying I'm going to get to the bottom and I never do. My channel's far from perfect. I can't keep the camera still, let alone read a script. It's not easy. YouTubing is not easy. Even just finding the time to make videos. That's why I do live streams. If I do a live stream for 2 hours, that's 2 hours of my time. If I make a video that's 10 minutes, that's 5 hours of my time. And even then, it's not that good because I don't have that many subscribers, and it's not doing its job. So it's hard. Live streaming is easy. I can even drink beer while doing it. It's literally just sitting here. But making a video, editing a video into something that's vaguely entertaining or informative or whatever takes hours. And I'm not selling any secrets, but I often think, what is the point of this? As if there's going to be the next one might go viral, I'll get 1 million views. No, the next one is going to be me going, yeah, the mega tank's leaked again, or oh, I've built a pond, or oh, I've done this with a fish. I don't have either of those personalities that we've been talking about. So the joy of the high energy, high impact. Oh, look, why, yeah, look at us, what we've done. You're not going to get that from me. I don't think I have it in me to do that kind of thing. The being a fish expert or having a fish business, trying to build a community, trying to share knowledge, I'm not that either. I don't have a pet shop. I'm not an expert in any fish. I'm an enthusiastic amateur at best. So I'm kind of stuck in the middle, that I seem to have found a small audience and a small amount of growth, but not really understanding how I've found that, or not really knowing how to maximise that. Because what I don't want to do, everything that I've done, everything you've seen in this channel is what I wanted to do. Every bit of advice about how to do well on YouTube is, well, look at your analytics, look and see what works, and do more of it. I don't want to do that. If it takes me this long to make each video, I don't want to make the same video over and over and over again. My whole approach is film what I'm doing. So I might think about projects, I might think about ideas of things I want to do and how I might film them, but it's things I want to do, rather than if I wanted to grow, I would double down. Everything on my channel that does well is discus based. I would double down on discus. I would get rid of every single fish that I've got and just get more discus. I do discus breeding videos, discus feeding videos, I do discus maintenance videos. It'd be discus, discus, discus. I'd be presenting myself as the #1 discus authority in the UK. I'm Mr. Discus. And I love discus fish, but I'm not #1 discus authority in the UK. I'm not an expert on discus health, discus feeding, discus breeding, discus this, that and the other. But that's what YouTube wants me to do if I interpret my analytics correctly, because they are the videos that do the best. So my unique selling point is, whatever I'm doing, film it. And that's only going to get me so much growth. I often joke that this is my retirement plan. I want to get to 100,000 subscribers and YouTube can be my pension. Yeah, I might get to 100,000 subscribers in about 50 years at this rate. But I think it's kind of important for my sanity more than anything else that I stick to the filming what I'm doing, because that's the bit that I enjoy. I enjoy making YouTube videos, but I also enjoy keeping fish and learning about fish and doing new things with fish. If I just focused on one area of making fish to make the better YouTube channel, it'd become a business, it'd become a little bit harder. It's a happy medium that's not working very well. Does that make sense? It's very hard to have the perfect channel. It's very hard to do all those things like you're saying, like reading scripts and all, but I don't do scripts. I have a vague idea of what I want to talk about and I ramble and edit out all the nonsense. So I wouldn't worry about it. Your channel being perfect isn't even a requirement. There's lots of imperfect channel. Look at Joey. None of that's perfect, but it's doing well. So I'd say stick to you doing you. Joey does Joey, Corey does Corey, Graham does Graham, Craig does Craig. It's the best way it's going to work out. Beer and complaining is better than ADHD. Let's see if we can get to the top. May have missed the chat over the calendar, Graham. So, if you have watched last week's live stream, tonight or tomorrow I will put a chat in Discord. Please send me your original files if you're one of the winners. I'll let everybody know who the winners are, but send me the original files, because the Discord has compressed everything so much it will look crap. And then I can get that sent over to Phil, and he can get them printed up. Right, going to do some quick fire answering because technically we're running out of time. Theatre or commercial, take your pick which to watch first. How is... Oh. Don't mind Corey or Dean, they're great fish keepers and even know they're businessmen. How is Megatank doing? Texas Prepper 62, it's doing fantastically. 1 week solid water holding qualities. Can't ask for more than that. Who can't love Dean in his fish room? Quite right. What do you think of KG Tropicals? Nothing against them. I don't want to be mean and say I don't watch a lot of their videos, but I don't watch a lot of their videos. I'm going to say something a bit weird. I personally like your channel because you're relatable and trying to exist as a fish keeper beyond off the shelf crap most can't emulate, but we want to. Thank you. You're the UK fish guy, man. Most others I follow are American. Well, thank you, Little Fang. I mean, there are plenty of UK fish tube people out there. Definitely felt your joy energy in the best thing in here video. But that's because this is the best thing in here. Every now and again I do get animated. I'm not always sad sack. This is, I want to say life-changing, literally life-changing. This has made my life so much better. Having a swivel chair in my fish room, and then because of that moving my office into my fish room. I've never been happier. I have to qualify that because I have had 3 kids and got married. Okay, I might have been slightly happier, but on a day-to-day basis, this makes me happy. Yourself and George Farmer are the only ones I watch from the UK, so give yourselves... Oh, thank you very much. I will take that credit. I think it's understanding people and channels for what they are. Most channels, I think, are a journey in fish keeping for people like Corey. They have a business, so that's part of it. That's very true. Yeah, so again, for a lot of people, not just fish keepers or whatever, YouTube is a channel. Their YouTube channel is a channel of their revenue stream for their business, and lots of the stuff you watch about how to do YouTube good is about how to maximize your sales for your business through YouTube. I don't have a business. I have a hobby business. I sell some fish food. Go buy my fish food. But if I stopped tomorrow, it would make 0 difference to my life. And sometimes it's an inconvenience, if nothing else. But people like Joey is more about YouTube is the revenue stream. And yes, I can sell some books off the back of that, or yes, I can sell some personal appearances. Whereas Corey's more on the other side, I would imagine, of yes, it is a revenue stream, but my business interests are the main revenue that I'm pushing using YouTube. So, Joey's the personality, Corey's the business. That makes sense? And I might be wrong about this. I don't know. I'm just some guy sitting in a garage on a Friday night in Sheffield, drinking beer, pretending to know what he's talking about. I'm sorry, I've been watching you for a while and still can't remember your name. Graham. Channel name's too long for me to type, but you're great. I make an effort to watch you live. I could be vacuuming you. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'll take that. Right, we're running over. I'm sure you should all be watching someone else by now. Let me see if I can get... Alex, nice to see you. Videos for subscribers are not fun. I just make videos about what I want to. Long and boring build videos. And I love your long and boring build videos. Keep making them. That's the problem. There's just one of me. There's not a million of me. Everyone else is the problem. If that's you and that's what you enjoy, then that's the best way. It is. The thing about it is, if you make the videos you want to make, they make you happy. If you make the videos everyone else wants you to make and it doesn't make you happy, nobody wins, because you won't be able to sustain that level of willpower to do a job you don't like doing. I mean, most of us, I say this a lot and I'm surprised how often it's not true, but most of us don't love our jobs. We do our jobs because they pay us. So if you give us a reason to stop doing that and replace that income from somewhere else, we'll jump on it. But if you treat YouTube like that, and you're doing it only for the income and it's just to make the best RPC or CPC and the best niche that you can maximize your monetization, you will get so bored of making those videos. You'll get so bored of the topics, you'll get so deadened to the negative comments. You have to be a special kind of someone to get past that, and most people aren't. I live in my fish room. Best life ever. Yeah, me too. I love it. I love Joey and Corey in their own way, but you're the streamer that gives me the impetus to get my next aquarium because of the community you're building. Oh, thank you very much, Marcin. I am trying to build a community here, and I know that everyone always says that, but I feel that that is my niche, my USP. I am the average... Okay, so I am the unaverage person in that I have 50 aquariums, but I am the average Joe in terms of I'm the enthusiastic amateur. I'm not an expert. I don't know everything about fish. I know a little bit about a lot of things, but I share that with you, and I don't think that's something to be ashamed about. I like this. I love dicking about with fish tanks. It's one of my favourite things to do. I love watching all my fish tanks. One of my favourite things to do. So I'm sharing that with you. That's something we can all do. You don't have to have hundreds of fish tanks to do that. Oh, God, I'm still miles behind. Right, so you should probably go away now and watch Cold Water Aquatics. He's probably streaming by now. I'm just quickly scanning through the last few channels. Right, thank you all for joining me. Click that subscribe button. We'll see you next week. If you want to see my dad live on stream, let me know. If you have submitted pictures for the calendar, please send me via email the raw footage of that, or the raw image. Discord has killed the quality of everything. There you go, Zen Ginger. She's got the Cold Water Aquatics. Please apologise for my tardiness. Tell them that I held you back by making you go 7 minutes over. But go and watch one of my other videos. Go and do something along those lines. If you have enjoyed this, click the subscribe button, give me a like, do all those good things. And we'll see you next week.